even though we are a 100% Muslim country.
Okay.
I come from the Maldives, as you have mentioned. I wanted to become someone who has knowledge in geography. So my father had some objection, but I think he used wisdom. He said we can apply first, but while the application is pending, I should listen to him and enroll myself to do LLB in the Maldives National University. At that time, we had a college. I would say it's like a journey. Once you are into it, there will be so many people coming to you asking for help. Do you think by giving hot water, internet, these types of facilities, this is what people want?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Welcome again to ASAS podcast. This is an honor for us to have our first international ASAS Exco, Professor Dr. Aishah Muneeza, in a very new ASAS studio. Yeah, previously we have a smaller one, but this one we have a better setting and also more organized, I would say. So we keep this for our exco, we keep this for you so that we can hear, insyaAllah, the sharing that you had with us previously. Previously, there was, during our Ijtima session in 2025, Prof. Aishah shared her journey from Maldives, developing Islamic finance, and then went into teaching, and then went into international Islamic finance spectrum now. So we have with us today a very tall name in Islamic finance, especially in Asia Pacific. Now I think she's also covering Middle East as well as Africa. Professor Aisha Muneeza, born in Maldives and now reside in Malaysia. For the first session, Prof. Aisha, maybe you can share with us your journey into Islamic finance. Maybe when we were born, or maybe to a certain extent, that generation, we don't have Islamic finance as our ambitions.
Yes.
But what happened to you when you study in Maldives, grew up in Maldives, and then how you technically parachute or drop in Islamic finance spectrum? Over to you.
Thank you very much. It's a privilege to be here, and thank you very much for having me today.
Alhamdulillah.
Now, when it comes to Islamic finance, it's something fairly new, even though we are a 100% Muslim country.
Okay.
I come from the Maldives, as you have mentioned, and our constitution says everything we do in the country should be consistent with Islamic law.
From the beginning?
Yes.
Oh.
And also, if you want to become a Maldivian citizen, you have to be a Muslim.
Okay.
So that is how much Islam is enshrined in our constitution, and how much we accept Islam.
Okay.
But unfortunately, when it came to the muamalat matters, it was only in 2011, formally, we had our first Islamic bank established in the country, offering Islamic banking services. But informally speaking, in 2003, Takaful has been offered in the country through a conventional licensed Islamic financial institution called Amana Takaful.
Okay.
But during that time, people thought Takaful is part and parcel of the name of this entity.
Oh, okay.
They didn't realize it is a concept on its own, and it has any link to Islam itself.
MashaAllah.
Therefore, even though Amana Takaful is the first institution operating in the country, we as citizens didn't understand the concept of Takaful as it should be, and there was no laws to regulate Takaful. And unfortunately, it is still the situation. We don't have a separate law for Takaful regulation, even though we have a Takaful institution, which is offering full-fledged Takaful services, and we have windows operating in the country now.
Okay.
Now, going back to my childhood, obviously, I had no idea that I would be going into Islamic finance field.
Okay.
So my aspiration when I finished my A-levels was to become something I would say alien to Islamic finance.
Ah,
I wanted to become someone who has knowledge in geography.
geography.
Yes.
Okay.
But then at the same time, I thought that Usuluddin is one of the areas where I could specialize in because I
Okay.
became more aware about the religion and its scope in the daily aspect of Muslims' lives.
Okay.
So I wanted to go to International Islamic University, Pakistan to do
Okay.
Usuluddin at first.
Yeah.
But it was not the norm for girls to go overseas to study Usuluddin, especially to Pakistan
Pakistan. Yes.
alone.
You're right. You're right.
So my father had some objection, but I think he used wisdom.
Ah,
He said, we can apply first, but while the application is pending, I should listen to him and enroll myself to do LLB in the Maldives National University. At that time, we had a college.
okay.
So I enrolled to the program and I was doing LLB for a while.
Okay.
So while doing LLB, obviously I thought, oh, law is an area which is very interesting
I see.
because the sky is the limit when it comes to application of it.
Okay.
And I can use my imagination as well as common sense to come up with answers when I write exams.
Okay.
So it also had a bit of Islamic law. And I thought this is also right.
Okay.
So while I was doing LLB, I applied to a scholarship which was called Judges Training Scholarship.
Okay.
And I was selected as one of the recipients. And I was supposed to come to International Islamic University, Malaysia, to do LLB.
Okay.
So that is how I came to Malaysia in 2005, just after my A-levels.
Okay.
And I was doing LLB at International Islamic University. After I finished LLB, I was supposed to go back and serve as a judge
Okay.
or in judiciary. But then I thought LLB is such a basic degree, I should pursue masters.
Okay.
So then I chose LLM in banking simply because I didn't know anything about banking. Then
Okay.
after choosing that, in the class, I was introduced to Islamic finance.
Okay.
We had Islamic muamalat, and also we had Islamic banking, capital market subjects. And it was something new to me.
More interesting.
Yes. But at first, I wasn't a believer of it.
Okay.
The more the lecturers tried to make me understand it, I thought it was a legal device
Okay.
or a hila.
Okay.
And I wanted to prove that Islamic banking concepts are not something genuine.
Okay.
So I still remember I went to Professor Rusni and I told her, I'm writing a paper to prove that Islamic banking practices are hila.
MashaAllah.
And
Wow.
then she encouraged me.
Ah.
She said, yes, very good. Go ahead, write it.
Prof. Rosni being Prof. Rosni.
Yes. So then I started writing, and by the time I finished writing the paper, I understood the full picture.
Okay.
I understood why Islamic finance concepts differ when it is applied in jurisdictions.
Okay. Nice.
Because there's a conflict between Sharia and the law of the land.
Correct.
So whenever there's a conflict, we have to harmonize it. When we harmonize it in our Islamic law of transaction class, they might say tawarruk is just like this.
Yeah.
BBA is just like that. But we have to choose different routes based on the legal system.
Correct.
It was so simple, but I didn't understand at first.
Okay.
So when I understood it, I had already finished the paper and I published it as well with my friends.
Okay.
So that at least others who will have the same misconceptions can learn from it.
Okay.
So after that, I went into research. So the next milestone I would say in my life, which I achieved in terms of understanding Islamic finance and knowing that there is a career path in it, was the Cliff Kuala Lumpur Islamic Finance Forum essay writing competition.
Ah, okay.
So my colleagues or the students who were in class with me during that time were professionals because
Yes.
it's a professional course,
Yes.
the LLM course was. So they came up with this idea, we should submit an essay for the essay writing competition, and everyone was striving to do that. So I thought I should write one too. But then the question was, what should I write about?
Okay.
So one day I was reading a case law. If I remember correctly, it is Marilyn Hosiok's case.
Ah,
And basically there was this Chinese lady who subscribed to an Islamic banking facility, but her defense was when the default happened, she didn't know what she signed.
Yes.
So obviously, I was like thinking, how can we force people to sign in documents which they don't even know of what it is all about?
Right.
So I became very passionate about this particular issue, inspired by that case. I came up with this article for the essay writing competition, which is titled like "Take It or Leave It: The Iniquitous Islamic Banking
Take it or leave
Documents."
it. Wow. Okay.
Very strong words.
Very strong word.
Yes.
Okay.
But being a student, being so passionate
Yeah.
about this, I thought, who cares? As long as I'm right, I'm right.
Yeah.
So I went to Professor Rusni and I said, Prof, I have written this article. And then she gave her input and we submitted it together to the competition. And then I forgot about it, obviously. One day I received an email which said that you have won the first place.
Inshallah.
Then I'm like, yes, there was a monetary reward as well.
Yeah.
And there was a ceremony to hand over it as well. So I was supposed to go to the ceremony that year. And when I went there, there were a lot of news reporters as well as like big companies who came and asked about the article I wrote. They praised it. And they wanted to buy it as well.
Okay.
But unfortunately, the copyright goes to search.
Yeah.
So there's nothing much we could do about it.
Yeah.
But after that cliff, I realized that there's potential in this industry. I could do something. I could make a difference in this industry.
Yeah.
So that is how I went into research actually, because I thought my research skills were good and I should go more into the research.
Okay.
So then at that time I was doing masters. I wrote my first book, Islamic Banking Under Malaysian Law. So again, that was quite a journey because I was a student and I didn't ever publish a book. So I was like thinking, who would publish my book? But then at that time, we had a professor named Professor Noor Hashima, who was teaching us
She just
anti-money.
She just retired.
That's right.
My lecturer as well.
Yes, a very good lecturer who was teaching us anti-money laundering and terrorism financing related subject.
Yeah.
So I remember her saying that her PhD thesis was published by one of the well-known publisher.
Okay.
But during the time she published it, she was also known.
Okay.
And then she also gifted us that book, her PhD thesis.
Okay.
So I remembered I had that book with me. I should check the name of the publisher.
Okay.
So when I checked the name of the publisher, it was AS Nordin, which is a well-known publisher.
Yes.
And then I thought, let me just email them. Who knows? So I just emailed them. I said, I have a manuscript. Would you be interested in publishing it? So I got the reply, please send us the manuscript. We need to review it. I sent it and then they accepted it. And I published my first book with one of my classmates and Professor Rusni.
Inshallah.
And after that, again, I think we published 2 books and we never stopped after that.
History, everything, just history, then you carry on.
So that is how I went into publishing books. And by then we were publishing a lot of articles as well.
Yeah.
And while I was doing my PhD after my master's, at first when I enrolled to PhD, I thought I want to change the field because I wrote so many things about Islamic finance. I thought, okay, no need to write anymore. Yes. I wanted to do something I don't know.
Okay.
So I went to my family law lecturer, Professor Aziza. I remember telling her I want to write my thesis on elder abuse because at that time I was very passionate about elder abuse related laws and things like that.
Yeah.
So she said, no, you should write what you are already writing. You should expand it. You should go in depth.
Okay.
And then again, I went back to Professor Rusni and I said, Prof, can I write on something related to Islamic finance? She said, yes, but what? And I said legislative conflicts and Sharia governance conflicts facing Islamic banking in Malaysia. But the challenge we faced was there wasn't much writing about it. It's only few lawyers who wrote about it, which are practical.
Yes.
So then the biggest hiccup was how do we get the literature review done if we don't have so much literature available?
Correct.
And how do we establish anything if we don't have past writings or research on it?
Yeah.
So then finally we decided that starting from 1983 up until 2011, we will evaluate all the case laws reported in Malaysia we will see how many legislations have been invoked in them and what are the provisions. So all the provisions we will distribute and we will see whether they have any conflict with Islamic law or not.
MashaAllah.
So that is how we did it.
It's a lot.
Yes. And in the process, when I went to the PhD defense, I was told that I have to take out either legislative conflict or governance conflict because both are broad.
Oh, okay.
So by then I have finished writing my thesis, kind of. And then I was thinking, what should I omit? The thing which I didn't write so much about is legislative conflict. So I thought I'll just focus on legislative conflict. I'll take out the governance conflict and I published a book out of it. So at least I utilized
Your
that
second
part. I can't remember.
Oh, yeah, okay,
whether
alright,
third or
okay,
second.
okay.
I think third.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So after publishing that one, I focused on the legislative conflict and I finished my PhD thesis very fast comparatively, simply because I didn't have any friends doing PhD during that time. All my batchmates went back, and PhD journey is a lonely journey normally.
Exactly.
So I
I've tried.
Yes, I thought how PhD done is you just submit your writing and that's it.
I thought the same.
Yes. So nobody told us.
Yeah.
So then I went to Professor Rusdi and I said, Prof, here's my thesis. Let me graduate, kind of a look I gave. And then she said, no, it is not how things work. You have to wait in the university for 3 years.
Exactly.
Then only you can graduate. You can even think of graduating. And I was thinking to myself, what should I do now? I mean, I have finished it. Now I have to wait another 2.5 years like that. So then I thought, okay, let me just do some jobs, go into teaching, tutorial. And while I was doing it, one of my friends from the Maldives invited me to apply to become a Sharia committee member for Capital Market Development Authority. He saw an advertisement and he just said, let's apply. Then I said, if you want, you apply. And he applied for me and we got selected. Okay. So when I went to the first meeting physically to the Capital Market Development Authority, to my surprise, the members were from CMDA. The CEO was there and some representatives were there and from the Maldives Monetary Authority as well. Okay. And they unanimously appointed me as the chairperson.
Chairperson?
Yes.
Instead of just the normal member, you straight away went to your first experience, chairperson.
Yes.
MashaAllah.
So then I was also thinking, should I accept it, or I mean, what do I do with this thing? Because I was new to the industry, right?
Yes.
I've done a lot of research, but that doesn't mean that I have any practical experience in the field.
I'm about to ask that.
Yes. So that was my first, but it was a huge task because that was the first time ever in the Maldives they wanted to create an Islamic capital market. And we didn't have anything.
It was in 2011.
2011. So the first task given to us was there was one company applying for Sharia screening. We didn't even have rules.
No guideline, no mechanism.
It was Amanat Takaful Maldives.
Okay.
So in my mind, theoretically speaking, there are 3 types of companies operating in the world.
Yeah.
The one type is 100% Islamic company.
Correct.
How do we know that? If there are Sharia committees
and
within
the governance
all
in place.
So if you look at this particular company, they have all those criteria theoretically.
Okay.
But if you look at their license requirement, they are licensed as a conventional institution by their primary regulatory authority, Maldives Monetary Authority.
The only regulator they have anyway.
Yes. So we had to write to Maldives Monetary Authority and ask them, do you consider them as a Takaful institution or not? And they have some mandatory reserve requirement where they have to put those reserve in MMA and that is also managed in the conventional way. So when we asked, they said, no, we don't consider this institution as a Sharia compliant service offering company. So that means we have to consider them as a mixed company.
Okay.
So in order to establish whether they are a whitelisted company or not, we had to come up with the rules, the first thing. After that, we had to consider that as a mixed company and do the Sharia screening for the first time in the country.
Okay.
And in the Maldives, we also came up with the rule that in other parts of the world, like if you follow IOF's Sharia screening standard, Malaysian Sharia screening standard, or even Dow Jones.
Dow Jones.
We tried to use it, but it doesn't work in the Maldives because of the way the conventional debt was so high. We didn't have Islamic banks.
Okay.
Only one Islamic bank at that time was just established.
Yes.
So there was so many issues when it comes to
We cannot comply with that
financial
benchmarking,
screening part.
screening part. Yeah.
So that's why we had to come up with our own screening. And we said we can't even say Sharia compliant even if 1% of the company's revenue is Sharia non-compliant.
Oh,
So we
very
have
strict.
because it's a 100% Muslim country.
Yes.
The whole country, the ulama community was scrutinizing us.
Yes.
So if we came up with something bad, that
Some
means our
tolerance.
reputation
Correct.
will be tarnished. So we had to make every step right.
Wow.
So first, we made it mandatory for the company to apply to do the screening. It is not like all the companies listed in the stock exchange that will be screened by the regulatory authority. Because the reason for that step is the moment the company applies, then the company is bound by our rules, right?
Okay.
So if there is any tainted income, that income will be given to charity by the company.
Okay.
It's not the dividend purification by the shareholders.
Yes.
So we followed that and it worked in the Maldives. Up until now, we are using the same regulation.
How many companies already?
Already two.
Oh,
yes.
Alhamdulillah.
Maldives Islamic Bank.
Very strict.
Very strict because our environment is different from the rest of the world. And we believe that we had to gain confidence of public.
Okay.
So that is how we came up with the Sharia screening criteria for the country. And then came the next challenge to create a sukuk market. So we were talking about sukuk. At the time, there wasn't even a conventional bond in the market. Can you imagine? Like nobody even know what a conventional bond is and nobody has utilized it. And we are going one step ahead by talking about sukuk.
The closest is just a public listed. That's it.
Exactly.
No bond,
and
no nothing.
Few companies were listed only.
Yeah.
And then at first I was asked to accompany a consultant who was doing the sukuk market project.
Yeah.
I was going around with him. And I thought one day I got a little bit, I was thinking about it.
It's not that difficult.
Yeah, I thought it's very simple task. And I was like thinking, why are we taking so much time? Because at the end of the day, everybody was talking about amending laws. We don't have SPV creation law. So I thought all these were excuses. So I wrote to the CEO of Capital Market Development Authority. And I said, okay, in my opinion, these are the structures that we can immediately follow in our country. And in my opinion, this is how we have to start a sukuk market in the country.
Yeah.
So the next day, CEO called me to her room and she said, why don't you take up this consultancy project and we will
do everything.
Yeah, we will appoint you. You can come up with a report.
MashaAllah.
So then the Australian company appointed me as their consultant and I finished the project successfully. And then I thought to myself, anybody can write a report, but what is the success story of it?
Yes.
I mean, people can say sukuk market is vibrant in this country theoretically, but if there's no instrument, then it's not a success, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So then I went to the Capital Market Development Authority CEO and I asked her whether I could help in implementing it.
Okay.
So she appointed me as the consultant and then we set up the first Islamic capital market unit. Within the organization.
Or the MMA?
No, Capital
Market
Development Authority.
Yeah.
And then I started doing the work. So the first thing I thought what I had to do was bring the private companies who will be more willing to come up with sukuk. So the private companies were very happy. We identified the structure, everything. Suddenly to realize that our law says that you have to be a public listed company in order to issue even an instrument.
Okay.
So then all these private companies were ousted because of this legal requirement. They can't achieve it.
Correct.
And then we went to all the public listed companies. There were 5 or 6 companies. We went to them and asked whether they are interested in issuing a debt instrument.
Yeah.
So to our surprise, they said they are interested, but then their equity to debt ratio will go higher and they can't get international funding and there will be restrictions.
Yes.
So then I thought what to do. I mean, it will take another 100 years for a private company to achieve the governance requirement and become a public listed company. Yes, all those things. So then one day my colleague said that there's a delisted company called Housing Development Finance Corporation.
Okay.
So then I immediately contacted the company. I went there and I said, we want to issue a sukuk. Are you interested?
Oh, the owner should should be happy.
Yeah, but to my surprise, the CEO was a non-Muslim. Then I thought the task will be more, but fortunately, he understood it more than a Muslim, I would say, and was very
MashaAllah.
cooperative with us. He immediately said, yes, go ahead. And then I did some screening of the companies, I said, to find out that they are 100% conventional mortgage company.
100%
Yes.
conventional mortgage.
Nothing is Islamic, no assets
MashaAllah.
at all other than these conventional mortgages.
And
Yes. So then I thought, oh my God, I have failed in this, right? But then I thought I shouldn't give up. In Malaysia, they have windows.
Yeah.
But in our country, the primary regulatory authority for HDFC, which is MMA, never came up with the window concept ever. They don't have rules for this, nothing. Only a Islamic banking regulation 2011 for
either
the
you are
Islamic.
conventional or Islamic. That's
Yes,
it.
that's it.
No window.
And only banks.
Only
This
banks.
is a non-banking financial
yes,
institution.
even.
And for them, there's nothing about Islamic.
Yes.
So then I thought, who cares? We just have to go ahead and try our best, right? Maybe they will be convinced once we come up with the idea. So I went to the managing director and I said, can we first establish the Islamic window for HDFC? Then after we launch it, we will go for Sukuk.
Okay.
So then he said, yes, you may, but there were PhD holders who came before you who failed.
Oh, already?
Yeah, so this is what he said.
Okay.
And I thought, and then he also said that I'm not even a PhD holder during that time.
Yeah.
So then I thought, okay, this is challenging, but I will try my best. So I came up with the name, branding, even the instruments that should be offered under HDFC Amna. We formed our own Sharia committee, following Malaysia as the benchmark. And once we came up with all those governance and the products and the marketing part, we decided to call it HDFC Amna.
Okay.
So there was this in the conventional HDFC, there was a roof, which is red color. We changed it to green color and we put Amna in an Islamic feeling way to give an Islamic vibe to those customers.
Okay.
So we created everything. We went to the board and convinced in May 2012. And then we launched it as well. We had a big ceremony in one of the good hotels during that time, Nasandura Palace Hotel.
Okay.
And we launched HDFC Amna. And next day, people started queuing to get the product. And the company told that actually, the first arrangement was we were supposed to get a Qarul Hassan from the shareholders of HDFC Conventional. But then they said they had liquidity problems and basically we didn't have any money to start the operation.
Okay.
So during that time, I had to fly to Mauritius for an IFSP meeting. I met the chairman of Maldives Islamic Bank, who was from ICD, Islamic Development Bank, Mr. Najmuddin. So I asked him whether our competitor, which is Maldives Islamic Bank, could provide us some capital to start it.
Okay.
So he immediately agreed. We went back. We came up with the concept of interbank wakala arrangement because at that time, we didn't have short-term liquidity management instruments for Islamic Bank.
Okay.
They had excessive liquidity problem. So we came up with a wakala arrangement between the two institutions so that Maldives Islamic Bank also can manage their liquidity while HDFC can start its operation. So our success story is we came up with the first Islamic window. We wrote to Maldives Monetary Authority. They gave us a letter. We have no objection for you to start.
Yes.
No rules, nothing. I was like thinking then,
you have a floor, a wall and everything to run the whole thing.
Exactly. So we followed Malaysian Islamic window, the benchmarking, and then we started the operation. And we were the first to start Musharaka Mutanaqisa in the country because previously there was misconception that if it is shirkatul milk, then foreign entities cannot hold land.
Yes.
So that's why the lawyer's interpretation, everything made it difficult. We from HDFC went to MMA Sharia Advisory Council, where our president of ASAS was also there. And they were very positive about using shirkatul aqd instead of shirkatul milk at first. So we were given the permission and we were the first to start Musharaka Mutanaqisa for home financing in the market. And we were also able to successfully seal the first interbank liquidity management product in the absence of Islamic treasury instruments. And then in 2013, we were able to issue the sukuk, the first corporate
sukuk. Within 2 years?
Yes, in
MashaAllah.
the country. And we also went against the international benchmarks. We didn't have any SPV because we don't have a law
Yeah,
for
you
that.
don't have that
And
law.
we can't use SPV as an issuer in
Yes,
our
yes.
jurisdiction.
Yeah.
So we came up with the Muloraba concept. Everyone said that Muloraba is very risky.
Yes, yes. But that's the
But for
best.
4 times we have issued the same structure now, and we've been successful simply because it's an institution which is regulated by
Yeah.
the Maldives Monetary Authority. So in 2013, after issuing Sukuk successfully, I was able to draft the legislations required, not legislations, I'd say part of legislations, which is the regulations required for the capital market, which
Yeah.
includes the Sharia advisor registration regulation, Sharia screening regulation, Sukuk regulation, and by that time, we also converted the Sharia Advisory Committee, which we formed in 2011 at Capital Market Development Authority, to a council, and the regulation for that was also issued in 2013.
MashaAllah.
But then when we were issuing these regulations, at first I thought this is so easy because small regulations. But when we sent it for gazetting, there were some issues.
Yes, yes.
Because the president office never gazetted it. And we were thinking, what is the reason behind it? And one day we were called to the office and we were told that, why are you putting Sharia compliant, Sharia compliant? That means that all the other securities in the market are Sharia non-compliant.
Yes, yes.
So that is the reservation they had. So I went back to office. I just searched for Sharia compliant. I converted all those terms to Islamic, and they were happy with it.
Okay.
And we were able to publish it. So nowadays, if you read these regulations, you might think this doesn't make any sense because of the terminology Islamic securities. But that was the
best.
yes, that was the best for that time, and that was the way to move forward under the circumstances.
Yes, yes.
So after that, in 2013, I was also given the opportunity by the Maldives Monetary Authority to come up with the first Islamic treasury instrument for the country. So I thought it is easy because already Malaysia is leading in it. I came up with the structure. Obviously, the structure would be commodity murabaha, right? The easier one.
Yeah, the easy one.
I went with the structure. At that time, the main player in the market, which is acknowledged by the Maldives Monetary Authority as Islamic financial institution, is Maldives Islamic Bank. But their Sharia committee is mainly dominated by Taqi Usmani's school.
Okay, IOFI comes in.
Yes, so that's why they don't allow commodity murabaha during that time at all. But nowadays, the view is for liquidity management purposes, in exceptional circumstances, we have to use it, right? Yeah. So then we came up with the concept of wadia, which is the easiest, but then the qarad and jaramam issue arose and we can't use it. Okay. So then we had to come up with something which is more acceptable to everyone, which is based on mularaba, using a government-linked company. Okay. But then the financial controller at that time didn't believe that it is a T-bill because T-bills doesn't work that way when we look at the conventional T-bill structure. Yeah. So we wanted to sign it at first. All the parties came. They refused because the financial controller said, I want money today to pay the salaries of the civil servant. Oh. But the bank says that we can't give money for that.
Of course.
So obviously there was this mismatch of intentions.
Yes.
And
timing.
We were unable to seal it. So all parties went on their own ways. And I was left to think, what is the next step? So that opportunity was used to seal the first private sukuk for the government without the intervention or involvement of the Maldives Monetary Authority. We went and signed a private sukuk for the benefit of Maldives Islamic Bank's liquidity management. Okay. So after that, after coming up with the private sukuk, I didn't stop there. We still strived to seal the first Islamic treasury instrument based on a mularaba structure, and that was done in 2013, November as well. So after coming up with the sukuk, my personal aspiration was to come up with the Islamic mutual fund to the country because we didn't have mutual funds, even conventional.
For your public.
Yes. Yeah. So then I thought, how do we structure such an instrument in a country where we don't even have conventional acceptance of it? So then I thought there are these Hajj operators, right? Mm. And Tabung Haji is very successful in Malaysia. Yeah. So I went to the private Hajj groups and I asked them whether they were interested in doing that. They said at first they were interested, but I didn't know about Hajj politics. Basically, what they do is they take the money from the consumers, they use it for their own trading purposes, they get rich, and at the end, if they have money, they take people to Hajj. This is how it works. But I didn't know it because I didn't have any background of, the Hajj operations.
Yeah.
So then the private party said they were interested, but the Ministry of Islamic Affairs is the one who give quota, and every year they give quota to different companies.
Okay.
So that's why when they don't have quota and when they don't have the license to take money from people all year along, they can't work as legal Hajj funds, right?
Okay.
So that's why I went to the ministry as well as the Maldives Islamic Bank, because I wanted to ask Maldives Islamic Bank, why didn't they have a Hajj saving product?
Yeah.
So they said that they can't control the Hajj price because different years, different amounts.
Yes.
So it's obvious.
Yeah,
So I thought the only way is go to Ministry of Islamic Affairs and ask them how they are doing it.
Yeah.
I met the minister during that time, and the minister said that they are very much interested in coming up with a concept like Tabung Haji in the country, if we can. And he requested me to draft a bill for that. So overnight, I came up with the bill, I submitted it, and then it didn't work. So then everyone thought that that is the end of it. But then I told the minister, it is not the end of the world. We can come up with a concept that is acceptable in the Maldivian situation.
Yes.
And I thought it is best to form a company like a GLC here, which is formed under a presidential decree.
Okay.
And we will call it Maldives Hajj Corporation.
Okay.
So then that idea worked. We were able to come up with a company.
And they asked you to stay there?
No, actually, I wanted, people who has Hajj experience to be there. But then, unfortunately, this Hajj politics is something which is very difficult to handle. The moment we wanted to appoint to the chairman, to the board, to the managing director, anyone with experience, the next day they will withdraw their names. Because they were doing their private business and there were this,
Much easier. Okay.
Yes. So that's why we didn't get anybody with experience. So finally, minister asked, do you want to become the managing director? I said, I have much more things to do than just becoming a managing director, because I had dreams for the capital market, right? So then I said, if you want, I can become the chairman and I can guide. So then we took a board with no experience of Hajj. This means that they are just youngsters like me who never went to Hajj, who never knew what is Hajj except from the textbook. And we didn't know what it is, what we were getting into basically, except for what we have read. So then we got this team. We came to Tabung Haji to get the experience and exposure, and we thought we will get help as well. But unfortunately, we got the information, but we were not able to get direct help because we didn't have so much to pay for the consultancy and things like that. We just started, right? So then we noted down everything which is important, which Tabung Haji did, and we went back, created our own software for the queuing system, because we didn't have a queue system before. And then we came up with packages for the first time. The Hajj price we fixed, and we were telling public what are the services given. Previously, when you pay an amount, you don't know where you are staying, what you are getting, nothing like that. The gharar element was so high in it. And then we also came up with Hajj trainings. We also came up with the things to help this in order to improve the services. For example, the bags and things like that. Previously, we
accessories and everything.
Previously, we see people, normally it would be the old people going there. They don't have so many luxury bags and things given. So we just we just enhance those things so that people can do Hajj without burdening themselves.
More organized.
Yes. So all those things we did, but we faced a lot of difficulties as well. The reason was the private Hajj groups didn't want us to be in the market. So one incident is when we wanted to start the operations, we wanted to do it right. We came up with a brochure, but unfortunately, unfortunately, during that time when we published the brochure, the marketing guy put, we were supposed to put Masjid al-Haram's picture, but he put another mosque's picture. So we didn't want to use it. We were keeping it until he corrected it. And we didn't want to go to public until we had the automation of quota system and everything ready. But before we could launch, we heard that there were some Hajj groups who went to court to get an injunction to stop our operation.
MashaAllah.
So within 30 minutes, we had to organize a news conference where we had to say we are launching the Hajj Corporation's operations of forever, because that's the first time, and the quota system will be introduced. And then we had to declare the price. So during that time, up until now, I think the price is RM 69965. We didn't want to say 70,000.
Okay.
And we had to open that leaflet and show the services and everything given to the public for the very first time in the country. So I still remember while I was there as the chairman, having this news conference, one of the news reporters asked me this particular question: do you think by giving hot water, internet, these types of facilities, this is what people want?
Yeah, MashaAllah.
So then, this is how the perception is during that time. You need convenience. It is not about just going to the Holy Land and staying there, right?
No. I just came back this year, so I know.
Yeah.
I know the challenges.
So we know the difficulties that they have to go through. So we're supposed to ease it. So we had to launch it, and then the next day, not next day, starting from that moment, people started coming from other islands, started queuing up.
MashaAllah.
To the extent that particular night, the queues were
The
full.
quota completed within the night.
Because we were opening forever.
Okay.
It's a perpetual quota.
Okay, all right.
So then there were people queuing up until the roads were full, and the president office was also concerned of their welfare, but nobody wanted to go from the queue because they were interested.
Yeah. Everybody want to go for Hajj.
Yes. So we started the operations of Hajj Corporation, and up until now it is in operation, and people are getting benefit out of it simply because in our country there are a lot of Hajj scandals. There are unfortunately some private Hajj groups who take money.
It's everywhere, not just in Maldives.
But we are 100% Muslim country, and we are so small.
Correct. Yeah.
But still this is happening, and I think the solution is provided by Maldives Hajj Corporation, because now anybody who wants to go to Hajj, they know the price, they know the services, and they know when they can go to Hajj. At least there is a transparent system established.
But the distribution of quota is like Malaysia, it went through Tabung Haji or still distributed?
So at first the government agreed to give us 50%. That is like 500, because we get 1,000 quota. We started with 500, and then now the government decided to give 100%. So this was the day we were looking forward for. But at first that couldn't be done because of the scandals and everything. I think when I was the chairman of Maldives Hajj Corporation, there wasn't a single year we had to take some private parties Hajjis to be taken to Hajj because they were betrayed by their original company who was supposed to take them, and they didn't get the money back as well. So it is just an operation which I thought Hajj operations are easy, but it's not that easy. It's very difficult in the Holy Land as well as while I am in the mainland, in my home country as well.
The home country.
It is a difficult operation, but Alhamdulillah, for the sake of our people, we were able to come up with even something similar to Tabung Haji, which we have derived from Malaysia. And I'm happy that I could be part of it as well, because now looking back, I see the benefit people are getting out of it.
MashaAllah.
So
you have touched a lot. You have done a lot, and you're still strong, pushing around and try to close the gap.
I think it's not like something intentionally we do, because when I went back in 2011, frankly speaking, I saw people in our society helpless in the sense that they were engaging with riba, and people who knew what riba is, they were refraining from going to financial institutions. So at that point, I was asking myself, Should I become a judge or, a lawyer and get more money, or should I serve the society?
Correct.
But then the answer I got from myself was there are so many people who are specialized in Islamic finance coming to our society. Where are they? If they are not there, why should I be there? I'm not even specialized in the
Another
area, right?
challenge.
I
Yeah.
just have a pinch of knowledge. Then I told myself, who cares whether you have knowledge or whether you have a certificate or not? Your contribution matters, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So my struggle or what I wanted to achieve to my society was I will set aside my dreams and let me first try to eliminate riba so that at least people could benefit from it. So by the time I realized I have established more than 13 financial institutions offering Islamic financial services in my country,
Mashallah.
and including convincing the government of the Maldives to come up with Maldives Center for Islamic Finance, to strategize Maldives as the hub for Islamic finance, and to help the multiple issuances of government sukuks, especially the treasury instruments. We came up with SPV for the multiple issuances called Hazana Maldives as well.
Mashallah.
So I would say it's like a journey. Once you are into it, there will be so many people coming to you asking for help.
Yeah.
And it's not the money that matters. Once your intention is good and once you want to do good, there's no limit to it. I think that is what it is.
The satisfaction is on from that
yes,
form.
yes.
Okay.
So after achieving all those things, and because I was thinking, after me, who will be taking up this industry and taking it to the next level? So while we were in Capital Market Development Authority, that was around, I think, 2013 or 14, we also signed an MOU with INSAF University, Malaysia. At that time, when we signed the MOU, they were offering CIFP.
Yeah.
But later on, by the time we were able to offer the program in the Maldives, because the whole idea was there are CEOs who has conventional finance knowledge.
Correct.
They don't have the time to go to the universities.
Yeah.
So let us bring the course to the Maldives with lecturers.
Yeah.
They will be enrolling in these courses.
Yes.
Once they get the degree, they will know what Islamic finance is. Then they will start implementing it. They will
Okay.
start converting their businesses into Islamic businesses.
Correct.
So with that intention, we brought INSEP as well to the industry, and we were able to be successful in that initiative as well. And by the time I exited the market to become a professor, obviously I think there were enough people to at least say that they want to serve the Islamic finance industry, because by then we had an industry.
Yeah, mashallah. You cover that over half an hour on the journey from 2011 until maybe 20 years,
2016?
maybe just about 10 years along the way. But we also realized that during those vision, the take up from the people in the Maldives is quite easy. Is it because of their schooling curriculum already exposed to Islamic, or is it because of we have a lot of Islamic country, 100% Islamic country, but the take up on Islamic finance sometimes is a little bit low. Yeah, maybe because of their educational system. But quickly on the resilient or on the easy take up of Maldives, is it because of their broader academic system or what?
I think from immemorial time, we've been taught about the Islamic social finance concepts,
Okay.
not the commercial concepts so much.
Okay.
It's nowadays only that part is embedded in the curriculum.
Correct.
But I would say there were like scholars who were talking about or making public aware about the danger of riba and things like that.
Okay, all right.
And our population is small as well. So
Yeah.
maybe because of that, already people wanted to have an alternative system.
Yeah,
And when they knew there is an alternate system, they were able to accept it.
mashallah. Okay, we take a short break. We'll take a short break from this slot number 1, the history and the development, and we will come back on the second slot talking about where Maldives are at the moment. I met the new governors. They came to ASAS previously about the cooperation with ASAS. But we just want to know, maybe you on the second slot, you can share with us the current development of Islamic finance in a broad pictures of Maldives, and how ASAS can assist to develop the talent, to reach out to the public, as well as to bring in more suitable professional qualification in Maldives, inshallah. So stay tuned. We'll come back on the slot number 2 on the current situation, on the development and the link between ASAS, because this is a podcast of very ASAS, and we will talk more on ASAS potential in Maldives, inshallah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Stay tuned.